I think the great thing that the content that we're creating happens is it saves hours and hours of time. Because generally, by the time that somebody actually sets an appointment, they're ready to go. It's me qualifying them to make sure that I want to work with them. If I think that they're a good fit for KMP, they're ready to go.
So going back to that, when you've had this conversation with other advisors in the community about, hey, how is this activity netted? What is this netting for your business? And you said they find themselves, or they're surprised that it's been worked for you and others. Does the conversation just die there on the vine?
I think it dies when they ask me what I do and they're not willing to do it. I mean, I think that's the bottom line, is they're not willing to do the things that are actually going to net fruit, right? They're not willing to take the time to write their own newsletter. They're not going to take the time to be vulnerable to record a video, right? Insert the 184 reasons of why I don't want to do video. I'm not ready. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound, whatever. We've all heard it. I don't like the way I sound either. I certainly don't look like Glenn Powell. We do it because we think the net benefit is there. And I can't tell you how many people that have come to us and have said things, I love your content, and they reference specific things. I met with a lady yesterday who was a referral from a good friend. And you would think referral from a good friend, that's just going to immediately turn into, she's going to show up on my door a week later. It's not how it worked at all. I texted her for, I think, over a year, close to 15 months. And in that time, I didn't know it, but she's watched all the YouTube videos. She's been reading the newsletters. And when we met yesterday, she cited specifically different things that I have said. And so she's like, Nic, I'm really embarrassed to say, I know you don't like target date funds, but I really don't know how to change it. I don't know what to do. So
what makes you say that?
She's like, I know you're going to be
9
upset.
videos.
Yeah. You're 9 videos in on target date funds and 3 email newsletters about my rants on target date funds. But I didn't beat her up over it or anything like that. And we had a great conversation about it. But it takes time. People aren't just going to immediately hear your name and set an appointment. Most of the time, they're going to do the due diligence process. And that's why having a couple of different channels, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, the newsletter working for you, it all funnels towards the commonality of getting closer and closer and closer to setting that appointment. At some point, the pain is so overwhelming, or they feel comfortable enough, whatever it is, then they reach out and set an appointment and they're ready to go. And generally they're amazing clients that I love, because after all the content that they've seen, they probably would have shut it down, at the beginning if they didn't like what we were trying to say.
I really hope that folks could get closer to a place that you and your firm are at, not that for any other reason other than if they just committed to it and stuck with it, it works. I don't know how else to say it. I wish I could show that to people and get them there. I think the problem that a lot of folks, especially me that I work with or talk to, is they buy in halfway or 70% or 80%, but the delta between 80 and 100 and 70 and 100 and 50 and 100 is a big deal. Dabbling, unfortunately, doesn't do it.
There may not be any fruit that doesn't happen if you don't get above 80. I mean, that's just the way that it works. You have to be all in.